Today is Wednesday, February 17th, and I am just now picking up the camera for the first time this week. This has been truly a strange week in terms of the schedule. Of course, Monday was the holiday, and so we did not have any classes on that day for President's Day. And then the schedule was supposed to be adjusted for the rest of the week, Tuesday through Friday. And our A days and our B days kind of got turned around a little bit to accommodate for the holiday. Well, then yesterday's classes got canceled because of inclement weather. So the schedule has been changed again, and I am all thrown off. Anyway, so everyone's back in virtual settings and virtual classrooms today for Wednesday. And it looks like I'll just be able to push my lessons out by a few days, which is no big deal. I'm actually kind of excited because I have a pretty decent system in place to help me plan for lessons and plan for daily activities and be able to adjust them and push them out when needed. So if nothing else, that's definitely what I've been learning and perfecting over the last few weeks is lesson planning. So I also had my first observation from my university professor on last Friday. So that went really well. It was a struggle to figure out how to record it for her, because in my program, some of the teacher candidates are virtual and some are in person. And so the way they had the observations set up was for in-person visits. And it was supposed to be an easy platform to be able to record yourself when you're in person. Well, when you're virtual, the platform really, you kind of have to rig it in order to get it to work. So I ended up having to record my screen from my phone and then figure out how and where to upload it so that my university professor could watch it. But anyway, it's just these times have definitely taught us to be creative, to figure out when technology will and won't work, and adjust and come up with a plan B, to always have a plan B. So anyway, not a lot going on today. I actually have some other work that I'm going to try to get done between classes today. And what I'll do is just, I'll check in with you later. There's supposed to be a virtual job fair today. So I'm a little nervous about what that's going to look like. But I'll check in with you either later today or tomorrow and let you know how that went. All right, see you later. Hey, you guys, I'm checking in today, and it is Thursday, the 18th. February the 18th. It's Toni Morrison's birthday today, so shout out to my literary shero. Today, the school day is over. I just finished picking up my Walmart grocery haul, and I'm sitting in Ulta's parking lot right now. I had a couple of realizations this week. As in many areas, my area has been snowed in for the last few days with temperatures below zero. The roads are covered in ice and snow. Schools have been canceled or either are doing virtual learning. The school that I'm student teaching at, because we are virtual learning anyway, it's just been business as usual, except for one day this week, classes did get canceled. Our local energy company decided that they were going to try to conserve energy by doing like these random blackouts all over the city, and so many of our students' families were affected by that. So there was one day this week that we canceled, even though we're virtual, simply because of the blackouts. It's just been a crazy time. Like, I don't know, it just seems like such a harsh winter coming on the heels of everything we've been through last year during the pandemic and the quarantine and shutting down and everything. And it just seems like this winter has been brutal, as if we needed any other reason to have to be sheltered in place. And now we are, because of the weather. So, but because of that, it occurred to me this week that I have become so comfortable. Lazy is really the word that I should probably use there, but I'm trying to be kind to myself with the words that I'm using and the words that I'm choosing. But man, I've just become comfortably lazy. Like last night, there were a couple of face products that I had in my Amazon cart. I was getting ready to check out, and it just occurred to me, I'm like, girl, you live down the street from an Ulta, and these products are in your local Ulta store. Get your butt out of the house and go get them instead of depending on Amazon. So I had this whole conversation with myself, and so that's why I'm in Ulta's parking lot right now, so I can go in there and get my products and quit being comfortably lazy. But that's, I think that's just how many of us are feeling right now. Today was an interesting day. We had a student that came to us kind of at the end of class when all the other students were logging off and leaving the virtual classroom, and she was just kind of telling us how she's struggling right now because her other teachers are not listening to her, and she's failing some of her classes because they have assigned work that was assigned before she came to the school, and they're expecting her to be able to catch up and do this work that was assigned before she even got there. Well, come to find out, she has transferred into the school at semester. She's a brand new student. Nobody took the time to really onboard her and get her acclimated to the school and make sure that her teachers understood that she was a brand new student to the school. So the teachers were under the wrong impression. Like even my coordinating teacher assumed that she was just switching electives. Like the notification that my teacher got did not make it clear that this was a brand new student to the school. And so there should be a different process in place to get her, like I said, to onboard her and get her acclimated to this school's culture. And these are the platforms that we use, and this is how you're going to log into your classes. She didn't get any of that. She was just thrown out there and has had to figure it out. And we are 3 weeks into the semester. So she's been struggling to figure stuff out for 3 weeks, and she's been trying to tell her teachers that, hey, I don't know which assignment you're talking about with this grade right here, because you assigned that before I got to the school, and nobody's been listening to her. And I am just like, I was just speechless. So I'm so glad that she finally spoke up and voiced her frustrations with us. And as a matter of fact, she told us, she said, she ended up laying on us a bunch of other stuff that she's dealing with too. She really just had to purge and just get it all out. In addition to these school issues, she's got some other issues that she's dealing with too. And she said, she saw 2 black women and she felt comfortable just getting it out. She was like, I'm sorry to lay all this on y'all, but I knew y'all would understand. And I'm so glad that she felt comfortable enough to get it out and to let us know what was going on, because at least with the issues that she's having at school, we can advocate for her. And so that's exactly what my cooperating teacher did. She was able to reach out to the principal and say, hey, this is what's going on. Did you know that this was a brand new transfer to the school? And it was just, it was just a little heavy to hear her story. And so because we were dealing with that and trying to help her, my cooperating teacher was telling me about this book called Push Out. And I will insert an image of the book But it's basically, I think the whole title is Push Out the Criminalization of Black Girls in School or something like that. And the book just focuses on the very things that this young student was telling us. Nobody was listening to her. Everybody was dismissing her. She was trying to voice her concerns, and oh my gosh. So I cannot wait now to get this book and read it, and just really hope that I become more aware of how these schools are treating these young Black girls. So man, that was just something to hear today. And I just wanted to make sure that I shared that story and this book in case any of you are interested in picking up that book as well. So so that's it. That's really the biggest thing that happened in my day today. So I am going to get in here to Ulta and get my products and stop being lazy. And hopefully we will all thaw out in the coming days. My heart goes out to those families in Texas and all over the U.S. that are dealing with this weather and dealing with no power and no water, and just on top of a global pandemic. Like, for real. It's too much. It's too much. So I need to put in my Black Theater history clip in this week, so I will do that right here. Enjoy. Okay, you guys, so welcome to this week's episode of Black Theater History, brought to you by She's So Dramatic. This week I want to feature an artist from the Black Arts Movement. The Black Arts Movement was an invaluable literary influence and played a significant role in our nation's Black history. It was the artistic branch of the Black Power movement, running parallel to its momentum and intensity. The revolution that was occurring on the political, social, and economic platforms of this country in the 1960s eventually began manifesting itself on the pages and stages of radical young writers. So just as political activists like Stokely Carmichael and Huey P. Newton were challenging the existing socioeconomic structure, literary activists like Amiri Baraka, Nikki Giovanni, and James Baldwin began challenging the existing construction of the dramatic art form. This time period is often referred to as the Second Renaissance. The Black Arts Movement was a declaration to America and the rest of the world that Black people and Black art would no longer be defined by European standards. Theater companies like Black Arts Repertory Theater, the National Black Theater, and the Negro Ensemble Company, they helped to thrust this aesthetic movement onto the stage for all to see. So amidst this movement of protest art, Adrienne Kennedy emerged with her 1964 Obie Award-winning play, FUNNYHOUSE of a Negro, which challenged the European aesthetics and values of white America. She used her art to reject the ideas of whiteness and white definitions of beauty. Kennedy was born September 13, 1931 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Her mother was biracial, and Kennedy was often the subject of having her features compared to her mother's features, specifically her hair. In FUNNYHOUSE, Kennedy used these personal experiences to construct these distorted images of beauty, which is what inspired her to create this idea of a funny house. So you remember the old school carnivals that featured the funny house of mirrors, right? Well, Kennedy used symbols and images of white society to tell the story of the main character's identity struggle. And throughout the play, we see her slowly unraveling as she tries to reconcile this conflict in her mind. How are Black women supposed to see themselves when we live in a world that teaches us that every good and beautiful thing is white and every ugly and sinister thing is Black? So we produced this play at my home theater, Casey Melting Pot Theater, about 2 years ago. and it was directed by Dr. Nicole Hodges Pursley, who is our artistic director. And the thing that she asked us to think about as we were rehearsing and preparing for the show is how we are still struggling today with these mainstream ideas of beauty. And I just remember her asking, what inheritance will we leave for young Black girls? Although Kennedy's Funny House was met with controversy for peeling back these layers of beauty identity in the Black community, her work still stands as a call for a redefinition of our own measures of beauty and worth, and the need to root ourselves in our own culture and our own values. Y'all, I just had my first class where the participation was completely dead. Like dead. Like nobody would interact. Nobody would answer the prompt for the day. Nobody would speak out loud. Like it was completely dead. Oh my goodness. I don't know what happened, why everybody is in a mood today. It's Friday. It is Friday. The temperature is going to be hinting and flirting above freezing today. Hopefully we'll all be able to get out of the house this weekend. So I don't know why everybody is in a mood, but child, it was dead. So, and I know there will be days like that, but that was just too funny to me. It'll be interesting to see these kind of days and moods in person, because my district is going back to in-person learning mid-March. At least that's the plan for now. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see the difference in these kind of days when we're in person versus over the computer. So that's really all I've got going on today, is just a dead class so far. I've got one more class coming up that I'm hoping will be a little bit more lively because it's acting. It's the acting class. And we're going to be talking about monologues today and how to score your monologue and get ready for performance. So, hey you guys, I just wanted to pop back on real quick to let you know that I had a great last class of the day, my 7th hour class. Sorry it's so jumpy, I am rushing to the barbershop, but my 7th hour class was so responsive. We are going over monologues right now, and they're really excited about the monologues that they're choosing, and so it was a really great group. Even though it's the last class of the day, you know, sometimes you worry about whether or not they're going to be totally over it and just ready to get on with their weekend, but they weren't. They were so responsive. We had some good discussion, and so it was just a great class. So just to kind of even out and balance out the totally dead class that I had earlier today, I ended up with a great group at the end of the day. So just wanted to close out this week. Thank you so much for taking some time to spend with me for a week in my life as a student teacher. I hope you all have a great weekend. I hope it is warm where you are. I hope that you are well and that you are safe. You spend time with the people and the things that bring you joy this weekend. And remember to find the beauty in everything. All right, you guys, see you next week.